What's going on?
We're running off the spot.
Are we live with no intro?
No, the intro should be coming up. It's thinking about.
Should have done it off here.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda.
All right, good evening, trendsetters. How are you? And that's where we are, guys. We're setting the trend, okay? I was throwing the cat amongst the pigeons in the back of the studio there before we come on. So we've got an open discussion tonight. Anything that we discuss tonight will not be concrete, guys. It'll be an open discussion with the people who have the documents plus one. I want to thank Carl while we're here quickly just for getting me in touch with Tim, you know what I mean, and being cool about me grabbing Tim on here and doing this and doing that. We all got to work together, and me and Carl have always got on that way, guys. So that's one thing I wanted to say. The second thing I wanted to say is I'd like you people to attempt to do what I done this morning, guys, all right? So what I'm going to do is play that for you right now. It's not very long. It's just going to be off my phone because I got no Cazza, but just have a listen, guys.
Is back, wants to talk about politicians' pay rises, Dave?
Yeah, g'day, Chris. How are you, mate?
Thank you very much.
For the topics that you do cover on here, Chris, you're a unique sort of bloke, mate, and I think these cockatoos have got more probably intelligence than our politicians.
In so many ways.
Well, look, you know, these guys go and, you know, only 34% of this country voted for Labor. How did they get in for a start? That's one question. 54% pay rise, you know, because they think they're worth it. And this country has just gone downhill with the WHO and the WEF and all the directives that we're under, Chris. So I'm just wondering how the people are feeling out there, you know, when we're getting taxed on our future earnings, this, that, and the other. You know, these pollies are sitting there wanting to give themselves over a 50% pay rise. And we got, you know, how many thousand people on the street? You know, we got a country in turmoil.
Well, in three measurements, Dave, I keep referring back to these three measurements. We have zero productivity. So don't expect any kind of pay rise that's valid because we have zero productivity. We've got almost zero growth We've got, infinitesimal growth. And on top of that, we've had a record number of businesses shut their doors. If that doesn't tell you that the politicians don't deserve a pay rise, well, I'm not here.
Oh, look, and the other thing, Chris, is where they're bringing it in, mate, is look, and I'm all into immigration, Chris. I'm around your age, maybe, mate. I'm 64, all right?
Yeah.
I come through with the Italians, the Sticks, and all the Greeks and the Grecos and everyone coming to our country to help us build it.
Yeah.
And that was a magnificent time. That was called immigration.
Yeah.
Now we have what's called migration. And these people are getting looked after before the Australian people are, and something really needs to be done about this, Chris. It is absolutely just tyrannical.
And too many of them are not behind or supportive of the way we live our lives. That's the danger.
Exactly.
Good on you, Dave. Thank you very much for that.
So, guys, that was a quick ring into Chris Smith this morning at 2SM. Okay, I'll bring these guests in now, people. But yeah, it's not hard to do, and I didn't promote myself. I didn't do anything like that. I knew we didn't have much time because there was. I got hung up on because I couldn't open up my phone, actually, and I had to ring back in. So I knew there was a few callers, so we were only going to get a small amount of time. But, guys, that's out to Australia-wide. You know what I mean? And what we're doing is just actually throwing out the topics that are annoying the Australian people, So I urge everyone to get on and do that. And as you get familiar with doing it, guys, we can then promote these events like we're talking about now. So welcome, Carl. Welcome, Tim. Welcome, Jackie. Let me have the floor for 2 seconds and we'll explain what tonight's about. So last night we had Jody on, all right? And, Jody spoke about this convoy that he'd like to do, but it's more of a relay race where he would like to have 67 cars on the road at any one time, no less than that. Why? Because 67% of the country didn't vote. So that's his idea on 67 cars. Now, they're going to move from town to town, and we want to pick up signatures along the way. Now, we have had some thoughts and different things on this, but again, tonight, nothing here's in concrete, guys, but I've got the two people that own the documents. I've got Carl on here because Carl might jump in his bus and get on this. I don't know what's happening. And with Jody and do a leg somewhere, you know what I mean, or whatever. Okay, I'll be doing the leg down here on the top of the mountain. But we wanted to bring Jackie and Tim on because it's their documents. There's some few other documents out there, but if we can build this massive amount of signatures, guys, we can get it to one location. Now, maybe Canberra's not the place to go dumping this stuff. You know what I mean? We had this little pre-talk a minute ago, but that's sort of out of its place at the moment. Can we get the signatures together? And is that a benefit to these two guys sitting on the bottom of the screen and whoever else may have documents that can put the government under pressure? So let's keep it to a couple of minutes each, guys. All right, and we can just run around the floor and answer some questions. So, Tim, firstly, we just had a bit of a whack around the park in the back of the studio there. So, our signature's good. We've got some points to go through and some things to go through. So, give us your feedback on how we can help you with this sort of a relay, to some point to conglomerate all these signatures.
Well, it's an interesting concept, and look, anything that'll bring pressure to bear and strip back the lies and the deception of the corporation and let the people see it is good. The convoy idea, look, I think the idea of the convoy and have messages all over your cars and stuff like that, I think that's a great idea. As far as now, Jackie's document is different to mine that needs a signature. Not the same. We're going for the same result, but it's a little bit different. Keith Charles's document has been served to the Australian politicians and the governor and the Attorney General and all these people. And now he's doing the follow-up on that to say, well, now you're in default because you've acquiesced, and that's in process. With the document, we've got to look at the steps that have to be taken in sequence, because if we try and do step 2 before we've done step 1, then all we've done is create a lot of furor over no result. The key for the document that I proposed is to support and back up Jackie's document and Keith's document, right? Now, so therefore, my time frame is outside of what these documents would be. So in that, the idea of my document is that people would sign their own document. They could sign 10 of them and do their affirmation or oath and hand them in to their local government organisations, police stations, courts, take them to the parliament of the state, whatever. Whereas Jackie's document, I believe, has a different purpose, or same purpose, but a different trajectory than what mine does. So now, Jackie, I'm going to flick over to you, because I think your document needs to go before, like Keith's already done his document. And I believe your document should be the next document out the door.
Yes.
Am I right? Is that how you feel?
Yes, exactly. So exactly what Tim has said. Keith and the Commonwealth Custodians initiated this, I think is it around the 19th of April, I think, Tim, wasn't it? 13th,
I think. Yep.
13th. So the next step is we need numbers. So as you guys know, I've done it's a solemn league and covenant for the people of the Commonwealth and of Australia. So this is basically for the people to read through. It is all about a restoration of law in this country. It is about, it's also about reclaiming our Commonwealth, because what's occurred is, we know the government are meant to be, writing laws and looking after the Commonwealth, and their role is for, the peace, order and good government of the country. But what we've seen is the government has been usurped, basically, and we have not seen anything like good governance. Our nation is being sabotaged. That is what is going on. So this is the Solemn League and Covenant. It is just basically outlining here. There's a preamble which pulls it into line, or connects this to the covenants that were done in the past, which is what I've based this on. So that's the National Covenant of Scotland, the Scottish Solemn League and Covenant, and the Ulster Solemn League and Covenant. So this is based on those, and it's outlining the conspiracy within government sabotaging our nation, and it is outlining the acts, the unconstitutional, unlawful acts. It is us, the people. I have contained in here, I've sent this off to Wayne Glue, Dick Yardley, Keith's gone over it, and a couple of other constitutional experts in the country. They are all happy with it. The wording is reflected exactly as it is in the Constitution. So we are...
So now we've got, we're at a time where we have to, sorry about the bikes, guys, but I can't mute at the moment. We've come to a time where we have to do something. You good people have got something going. Jody wants to do something. He's got this idea. We want to gather signatures. So how can we actually, and I'll bring you in here, Carl, if you want, firstly, but how do we actually, this is a good idea. Do we need to carry on with this? Is the signatures, we have to let them know that there's a majority. And if we could get 1 million signatures or more, I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying, that's got to hold some weight in some area, for us to make action. So, Carl, you want to enter the conversation?
Why would that lend any weight? We had over 1 million people on the front steps of Parliament House. It didn't lend any weight to anything. Why would a letter? And forgive me, I'm.
It's not a letter. This is not a letter.
I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yep.
I don't know. First of all, there's a lot of talk about getting signatures. What are you asking me to sign? Right?
That you're
Asking
not,
you to
well, I
sign.
was thinking about this. That
Is it
you're
a
not
petition?
happy.
Is it a
No,
well?
to get the
Jackie's
to get the
document, Tim's
signatures,
document
Carl.
is different to a petition.
Okay, to get
So-
to get the signatures, all you need or something in a cafe or on a hardboard clipboard.
I'm
would
getting
say-
signatures. I
No.
understand how to get
No,
signatures.
you can't do it
I
that
wanna know
way.
what we're signing. What are we doing with the
Okay.
document we're signing? What is the
Okay.
document you're talking about getting
No,
signatures?
No,
for?
you're not understanding me. Let me talk. When you're not understanding me, what we're saying is we can say, okay, are you happy with the government? At this present time, are you happy with migration? Would you like the government to hear your voice? And people can put a signature on that. Now, what we're after is the signatures, because they've just agreed that they're not happy with the things that we are taking to Parliament or wherever they're going. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. The papers and that we've got, or the things that Jackie and Tim want to do. I'm asking Carl, if we had a heap of signatures behind it, is it adding any more weight? And I want you to play the devil's advocate. Yeah, I agree. We've done all this, but we're at a time now where we got to do something.
I don't believe it'll add much weight at all. The Parliament is exceptionally good at ignoring the people. We've sent petitions to the Parliament. We've sent petitions to the Governor General. We've sent petitions with hundreds of thousands of names on them.
This isn't a petition. It's different. It's not a petition.
Well, you're talking about getting a pile of signatures together. To me, that sounds like a petition, and you've not.
It's
been
not
able
a
to explain
petition.
it differently.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
how
not
is
a
my
petition.
signature going to
I
help
think-
your document? How is
I
my
think
signature going to help your document?
Yeah, hang on. I think, first of all, people need to read Jackie's document to understand what the document contains. And
Do you want me to read it in 5 minutes?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Okay, so Carl, these other covenants are under glass in all of the museums, and they are considered the foundation stone of our law. They also are part of the Declaration of Independence in America, etc.,
I
etc.
thought Magna Carta was the foundation of our law.
That is what they are based on. The first was the Magna Carta. The next one was the Declaration of Arbroath. The next one was the National Covenant in Scotland. The next one was the Scottish Solemn League and Covenant. The next one was the Claim of Right. The one after that was the Treaty of Unions. Then we had the Ulster Solemn League and Covenant. And then, the constitutions. And our constitution is based on it as well. So you're absolutely right. So all of them were based on the Magna Carta, and they are all about restoring the sovereignty and removing tyranny. So it was always against a tyrannical king or a government. So the way this is worded is in law. And this is how these other documents were done. So it's not a petition. We're not asking for anything. We are letting them know we are aware of the fraud. So I'll very quickly read it.
And
It's the
Jody had the
solemn
idea of, hang on, Jackie. Jody had the idea of getting signatures, just a thought, I think. You know what I mean? To go along with what these people are doing. So that's where we are. We're in land. We don't know. Yeah.
I think it's great.
Jack.
I think get it out there. Get these documents out there, but there's got to be a single collection point. And that's going to be from a website with Commonwealth custodians, because it's all got to be kept somewhere. If you take these documents to Parliament, they'll throw them in the bin. We need the record. So this is it. It's the Solemn League and Covenant of the People of the Commonwealth of Australia. It is the preamble. In the spirit of the Scottish National Covenant, 1638, the Scottish Solemn League and Covenant, 1643, the Ulster Solemn League and Covenant, 1912, and by the supreme lawful authority of the Commonwealth of Australia, Constitution Act 1900 Imperial, as proclaimed and gazetted on the first day of the first month, 1901, under the Royal Coat of Arms. Whereas the people of the Commonwealth of Australia stand as one in the tradition of life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, and lawful governance under God, and whereas constitutional integrity must be defended by the rightful sovereign heirs of this nation, we, the people of the Commonwealth, do solemnly affirm and hereby decree and declare the following. Sovereignty rests with the people. The Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act 1900 is the supreme law of the land. Ultimate authority is enshrined in the people. Any government or institution that departs from this constitution acts without lawful authority. Breaches of law and trust by government. The Parliament has usurped its authority. peace, order, and good government have been replaced by conspirators sabotaging our nation. Such acts constitute breaches of fiduciary duty and forfeiture of its role as trustee of the Commonwealth. It has failed to swear the constitutional oaths of true allegiance prescribed at Section 42. It has reconstituted itself as a foreign corporate entity without enumerated head of power. It has enacted legislation beyond the limits of state and Commonwealth authority under Section 51. It has entered into unlawful treaties and obligations absent the will of the people. It has engaged in coercive mandates, surveillance, censorship, and other violation of privity, ultra vires. It has failed to serve the people and transferred wealth to foreign interests. It has committed fraud, theft, and treason, undermining the common weal against the people, reclaiming our lawful role, the people of the Commonwealth as the sole and rightful beneficiaries by inherent right of the Commonwealth by this solemn league and covenant. We declare that the appointed trustees Parliament have failed to comply with chapters 1, 2, and 3 of the Constitution, have breached their trust, that we the people now lawfully reclaim our inheritance, that we assert our sovereign rights as the supreme, absolute, irrevocable authority and true beneficiaries of the Commonwealth, that it is our duty to guard our inheritance and ensure just governance for all future generations. Lawful constitutional redress. We pursue redress by lawful means, through constitutional challenge and lawful courts of competent jurisdiction under the Commonwealth, through lawful repeal of all unlawful statutes and nullification of unconstitutional treaties, through lawful assertion of our rights as sovereign beneficiaries. The High Court of Australia, bound to the Constitution established under Chapter 3 of the Constitution as the Supreme Court of the nation, recognised as the lawful guardian of the constitutions. All people of the Commonwealth may seek redress in this court, duty-bound to protect the sovereignty of the people and the integrity of our constitutional framework. Its duties include upholding the Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act as the supreme law, ensuring all laws are within constitutional power, Section 71, interpreting the Constitution in original jurisdiction, Section 75 and 76, striking down laws repugnant to constitutional limits, preventing violation of the Constitution, acting as the final court of appeal to guard against abuse of power, to prevent encroachments by federal parliament upon the states or the states upon federal parliament. All people of the Commonwealth may seek redress in this court, duty-bound to protect the sovereignty of the people and the integrity of our constitutional framework. National sovereignty and self-reliance. We declare re-establishment of a Commonwealth-owned bank, restoration of lawful parliament and national industry, rejection of all foreign entanglements contrary to our sovereignty, nullification ab initio of all unconstitutional agreements, declaration and decree of the people's authority. We, the people, are the Commonwealth. We are the power. The Crown is our head of power. We are the lawful stewards of this land. We do not act by permission but by inheritance. We do not recognise the corporate parliament as lawful. From this day forward, we decree all unconstitutional actions are void. All office holders must swear true allegiance in accordance with the Constitution. All wealth and resources belong to the Commonwealth. All actions taken will be peaceful, just, and founded in law. So this is a call to action to all Australians of honour and conscience. Read this covenant, endorse it in good faith, knowing it is necessary to defeat the present conspiracy of a lawless and unconstitutional government. Stand lawfully and peacefully. Rebuild our institutions, restore our sovereignty, and protect future generations. Closing declaration and decree. With the blessing of Almighty God, in steadfast resolve, from this day forth, by the will of the people of the Commonwealth, by decree, we declare that we are the power and authority of the nation by rightful succession. We seek justice, accountability, restoration, and reclamation. This is our sacred trust. This is our lawful stand, binding in conscience, in history, and in law. As our ancestors stood against tyranny, so now do we, with steadfast hearts, bound by sacred duty and honour. The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. By the will of the people and the law of the land, so shall it remain. This is our solemn covenant signed and sealed by the people of the Commonwealth of Australia. And then we've just got the area, sorry, for them to autograph and for witnesses. So the idea is, in connection with Commonwealth custodians, people can go to the website. They can put their information in. They then print out the covenant with their name on it. They autograph it. They get their witnesses, and then it goes back into the website. And from that website, they can then access the original documents that were sent out by Commonwealth custodians, which is a 40-page like compilation, or it's an expansion on everything. And then there's more on their website. And then Tim's got his.
Okay. Number one, we've had a lot of websites and we've had a lot of attacks on custodians, and I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. We see these things get ripped in when they start to get any momentum or anything like that. So how good is the website? Number two is, I was thinking here, you know, we got Monday Maggies, we got everyone standing at the governors. You know, these signatures are better off to be used at the governors, you know, in mass. You know, each state collects their signatures, get them with a document that goes to their governors. You know, I heard Beatty on the radio this morning, actually, and she's got an open day on Sunday. She's letting everyone into Governor House up there in Sydney. They got a jazz band. So, you know, are we better off using them there? That's just a thought. But anyway, yeah, right.
These documents have got to go through all the lawful procedures that, as like Carl even touched on that, they've got to go to absolutely every level of government, and they will be sent out internationally. They will be sent over to England, etc. That's why it's imperative that the all of the signatures are collected together, because this has got to be.
Can I ask a question just on the? And can I just congratulate you, Jackie? That's a magnificent document that you put together. You've said that the person needs to sign the document, needs to get it witnessed, needs
autograph
to put it back needs to go back into the website. Now, I can tell you, I couldn't do that. I don't own a printer. I couldn't print out the document, take it to somebody, get them to witness my signature, bring it back,
I agree
scan
with
it,
you,
and put it in. So
we need other options, Carl. What do you suggest logistically? I'm open to suggestion.
I understand the need for witnesses, and I'm not trying to tear a hole in your idea. I'm trying to, you know, I tear problems apart from the arse end and work my way back to a solution.
That's good.
So it's just how my brain works. So it can be a bit fragmented at times. I apologise.
No. It's good. Devil's advocate.
So I'm trying to figure out how we witness a document to make it so easy. I see something like a signable document, something you can put your mark on your phone, so that if I'm sitting beside you on the train and I read the document and I say, yes, I want to sign that, I just need to ask old mate next to me to stick his thumbprint on my screen. It's been witnessed. Then the whole lot gets emailed or sent in to whomever you want to send it to. That way, I would see that there is a way, and I was thinking about this too, about the collecting of signatures. Now, we can collect million or more signatures, I'm sure, but and I've got a bus. I could probably fit 1 million signatures in here. But where am I going to deliver it? Who's going to get it? And more particularly, next steps. Once, let's assume we have a large populace who've signed your document. What happens when the corporate entity that we're serving it to ignores us? The corporate entity that owns the police, owns the military, owns all enforcement arms. What is that next step? I understand and I really like the document. We demanded
this
back.
This is the thing, though, Carl.
What do we do?
This is as Tim explained, or said. So there's been a 40-page declaration that has been sent out outlining all the facts of the unlawful acts and everything. The Constitution is not being adhered to. So
And
this
has
document
this
is
gone to all the
making.
politicians? Has this gone to all the politicians?
It's gone everywhere. Yes, they put it to all of the authorities everywhere. But look, this is the other thing. Go to the Commonwealth Custodians website. So I can't speak on behalf of them. What we are saying is, Keith has said, the way we describe how we're working together is we are working as a cooperative, shall we say, because what we need to be doing, and I applaud everybody that is fighting this in the best way they know how. This is a multifaceted defense of our nation, of our rights, of our law that has just absolutely eroded. So it's important to get information out, and something such as this, we then see how many people are happy. I think we can get 5 million signatures simply based on the numbers we had in Melbourne and the numbers that we had in Canberra. And for every one of us that was at those protests, we all knew another 5 to 10 people that could not be there. So this is a collection of this. This is where the decree comes in. We are letting them know we know where we stand lawfully. And this is all done with the words of the Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of this land. So I'm open to suggestions with the logistics, because I'm old school as well, Carl, Tim, Dave. I'm one that thought, well, let's drive around the country and get all these wet ink signatures. I would love that. And I think, perhaps that could be a part of it. But then you've got to, which isn't any, then someone's just got to enter the data in, I suppose, or scan the signed documents or autographed. I've got to get into that into my vocabulary, autographed documents. And then we have them all saved somewhere, because if we...
the idea... sorry, I got lag in that. If I put my hand up, I want to come in, that's all. So, look, so we've got some steps to go through, okay? So we got to work out, the people out there, we're now throwing them into a little bit of chaos, but that's good, because we're in a war and we've got to think for ourselves, and we've got to, work things out, guys. So we got all these signatures. We got some documents. How do you people out there also put in the comments if you'd like? How do we best utilize what we're aiming to do? So, Tim, would you like to come back in and give it? You've been sitting there. I can see your head ticking over. So give us your thoughts thus far, Tim.
Well, where the program is right, it's correct, and the challenge we have is, and as I've been reading the chat, we have sent reams of paper. We've cut down a whole friggin' forest to make paper to send to these criminals. And the logistics work like this. Does that mean we should stop? No, because all paper leaves a trail. And every time one of these lunatics, and I'm not talking about the top lunatics, I'm talking about the mid-range lunatics in the public service, in government and so forth, get one of these notices, it makes them think, it weakens them a little bit. It goes, geez, are we really that off track? All this sort of stuff. It has an effect. Now, the bottom end of the day here is that I believe that nothing we're really going to do paper-wise, including my paper, including the paper documents that I'm putting together to send around the world to the Bank of International Settlement, to the Vatican, to the US, to the UK, the UN, all this. I'm not saying that paper is going to make much difference at all, except when we actually do, and when I say do, I mean physically sit a new parliament, then we have the lawful documents behind us, like Jackie's documents, like Keith's documents, like my document, like so many other documents that have gone before us. We have all that to rely on for our lawful standing. Now, the reason the government pay no attention to the documents is they are a corporation. They have no standing here. They are not government. They are belligerent occupiers operating under the United Nations, because the United Nations hold Australia, like they're the trustees. And what we have to do is, and in my document, as with Jackie's, is that we have come of age. We don't need a trustee. And we, the people, are now, with the document that I'm proposing, will marry up really, really, really well with Jackie's and with Keith's, is it's a short document stating that we withdraw any and all consent, granted or implied. We now stand outside the contract that we did not understand. We now come back under our lawful Commonwealth Constitution 1900 UK, and we are forming our government, and this is my oath to stand under that constitution, under that government. It's a one-pager, and again, it's got to be autographed and it has to be witnessed, but the people serve those documents. But the key to what the end of that story is it's not just serving a piece of paper. Then on the Friday of the week, and my program is that the Australian people can stay at home, they can go down to the local courthouse, they can go down to the local council, the cop shop, the local member's office, whatever, and they can hand them in these pieces of paper. This is my coming out of your contract. I rescind the contract. And we can do that from home. We just walk down the street. And then on that Friday of that week, what we do is we sit a new parliament. We literally put in place a new Commonwealth Parliament based on our constitution, and that would be live streamed around the world. Now, the interesting thing here is that there are some letters and some conversations being had within both the military and the federal police. Because maybe
these will be going to the federal police. They will be going to the High Court. They'll go to Washington, D.C. This will, but the thing with this one, they will not be getting the hard copies of the parchment. They cannot be trusted with this. They will be stored somewhere, and it will all be recorded. So I look at this as, well, you know, we just had our dodgy elections. This is going to show a true count, and they cannot ignore in law. So this is why this has been drafted like this, because this is how and why the other covenants throughout history have been successful with restoring the sovereign rights of the people and stopping the tyranny. This was how it was done.
Now, I think previously they didn't have the opposition or the weapons that the opposition has today. Previously, they haven't had access to global financial markets or global weapon systems. That's changed the game a little bit. Well, I appreciate what you've said. I think this time around,
that's why we operate lawfully and peacefully, because what they would love it if we all picked up the pitchforks. It's exactly what they want. It's been
if we all picked up the pitchforks, they'd all be dead in a week.
Exactly. The UN will be in. It is exactly what they want us to do. So we address this using the law, and with these documents, Keith's, Tim's, this is all about we operate peacefully and lawfully.
Can I jump in?
And we are asserting. Can you imagine if 5 or 10 million Australians signed this, and we've got bang.
Yeah.
We are the power, and those words that we are the.
Hang on, we have to have a physical movement of Parliament that literally takes over the military, because Rod Culleton had a beautiful little, just a minute, where he said that when he wrote to the UK, and the High Court in the UK said they cannot hear legal matters of Australia.
Yes, they can.
And no,
they can.
Jackie, please let me finish.
Hang on. Yeah,
Rod went back and said, no, this is a Commonwealth of Australia matter.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, well, we can hear that.
Yeah.
So what we do is we form a legitimate Commonwealth Parliament and therefore that the very, very first act of that Parliament will be to put the Parliament of Australia and the Australian government, Canberra, into receivership for trading insolvent, and they will have to close their doors the next day.
I don't know about those logistics. That's your specialty.
Okay. All right. So what we've got here is we've thrown this out now. We got a couple of discrepancies on how we're going to use signatures. We think it's a great idea to get signatures. So, Jody, I presume you're going to be watching this, mate. So, we all need to talk.
Thanks, Jody.
Work out what's. Look, it's just about people getting behind people, And Joe just said, can signatures help? And we all thought, yeah, it could. So, here we are. But what we've done now is we've thrown this out, get this shared around, guys, and get the conversation out there, right? Because this is what we want to be doing, all right? We need to have people coming with suggestions on how we can do this, how we can use them. I think maybe the governor's might be the place to deliver them. You know what I mean?
No.
That could just, no. Okay.
No way.
All right.
These signatures must be, the parchment copies must be collected and held securely in one spot. All the data, all the and the scanning of them. Look, absolutely, Parliament will get them, but it's got to go to every level, including the army.
Okay, hang on. You're not getting me. No, you're not getting me. Okay, you've already told me that they have to go everywhere. That's good.
Yeah.
What I'm saying,
sorry, don't come here.
2,000 people actually turned up at the Governor General's, all right, because 2,000 people around North Sydney or Sydney signed the document, and they actually had 10 or 20 or 30,000 signatures with them, you know what I mean, or a copy of thereof or proof of thereof, and went and then sent to the Governor General's in each state on the same date. Bang. Aren't we just reinforcing what we're doing in different areas? This is what I'm trying. We have to be multifaceted. It's not about, we can't do that because there's a document for this. No, we want to be able to hit them from every angle, guys. That's what I'm saying. That's my idea.
I fear, given that scenario, we're hitting them from every angle, I fear we are going to fatigue our warriors because we don't have enough of them backing up the ones on the front row now, and to be sending them out time and time again, we're going to fatigue them.
Yep.
And I think that's something we need to be very careful
No way. Every knockback we get up twice as strong. No way. There's no standing down. Standing down.
Well, I feel a bit left out because the only document I've prepared is the cheapest, most effective body armor, head protection, eye protection, and masks. So
we might need that.
Go for dragon.
All right, guys, let's finish it off. All right, we're at 44. So we've thrown a bit out for the people to think about tonight. Okay, we've got Carlin, the devil's advocate. We've got you two guys here with the documents. People have got a bit of a feedback now on what you guys documents need to go and what they need to do or what they are. Tim's totally different to what Jackie's is. Go to custodians. I suggest you get to the custodians website and have a look at that, guys. Why? Because, yeah, we won't back down. You're dead right there, Casey. But why, guys? Because we need to get involved. All right? Yep. We just need to keep a roll on here, right? These guys are, we're getting wins and we're going really well. But these guys, the harder we go at them, the harder they're coming back at us. And the quicker they're moving in their new world orders and all their bullshit that goes with it. Okay? So it is just time to go. And we've got to work out now. We can reconvene next week. Have a think about it over the weekend, guys. Plenty of smart people out there. So I want you guys to have a think about what we've put out here tonight and go and have a look at the documents, get yourself involved and work out maybe you've got a better suggestion. You know, like these guys have got the documents, but how we utilize them, you know, you might have a brainstormer out there. Yes, Jackie, come in and have 60 seconds each to close up and then land it.
If there's anyone that's got any good logistics skills, can I also add that this is one side of things, and the other reason that I in particular put in about the High Court is this is a multifaceted defence, because we are still going into the High Court. Now I'm going to send through to Tim. I might send through to you as well, Dave. We've got another 3 cases ready to lodge in the High Court. See, I'm staying in the system. We're going to fight the system, using the system, their own system, against the system, because they're breaking the law. They're not adhering to it. So we've got 3 matters. We've actually got, we've got one, the Commonwealth is the defendant. We want to invalidate sections of the Biosecurity Act and get rid of the treaties. It'll knock them all out, because you can only treaty between 2 or more independent nations. You cannot... There is no such thing as a treaty being done with an organisation or something like the United Nations. They're null and void in law. So that's one case. I'll give you the info. The other one is 5123A against the Commonwealth. And the other one we're looking for plaintiffs. It's going to be a class action. So these cases are ready to rock and roll. We've got another three ready to go. Right. But I'll give you the information. Cool. We need plaintiffs.
Well done. Yeah, we do need plaintiffs, guys. We need people to take these on. Come on in, bro.
We had a meeting on Zoom on Wednesday night with a bunch of people. Jackie was one of them. We had about 18 people on, and we thrashed out a fair bit of stuff and came up with a couple of really good move forwards. And what I'm going to be doing next Wednesday, I will do another large Zoom. And just to give you an idea of the feedback, since the start of the Zoom program, I'm going to call it, we had over 1,000 emails applying for Zoom links, and I had another 800 responses from that Zoom emails. So I've had just under 2,000 emails to go through in 2 weeks. And it is amazing what's coming up. The next Zoom I will do will be next Wednesday. It will be the big room. We do have the clowns under control, and we do know who they are now, so that'll be interesting. The other side of it is we are going to ask people if they want a Zoom link to, instead of getting, I'm going to call it a seat in the Zoom room, and sitting at home on your own, invite 3 or 4 or 5 of your mates over, or get your group together, whichever group you're a part of, and all sit in the one room. So therefore that 1,000 Zoom seats turns into 3,000 or 4,000 people getting the information on that night. So
great idea.
Great idea.
I'll put a video up tomorrow.
Thanks, Tim. All right, you go and chase all the respective guys, go and follow them. All right. Keep up with what's going on, guys. Carl, what would you like to say about tonight's show, dude?
Oh, I think it's very positive. I think there's it's great for people to be able to see a couple of the different tracks that are being taken here. Anybody who follows me will know that I'm always, my end game question is, how does this get enforced? And I can see a way, particularly with what Tim is saying about the Parliament, creating a Commonwealth Parliament. We could take control, if you like. It's a strong word, but
reclaim.
Take control, reclaim.
We've got to watch our vocabulary.
We will be fighting the Masonic filth hand and feet through the police force unless there are good members in the police force and in the military who are going to drive the Masonic filth out, knowing that there is no future for them. I've had a lot of experience with the filth recently. I'm surrounded by it. And my patience is wearing very thin. So I'm only half joking when I say I am looking for body armor, because under what we've talked about here tonight, the only thing that's going to save we the people I believe, is we the people.
Exactly.
So
we all agree on that.
If we can find a mechanism, and God knows I want to find this legal, lawful mechanism. But if you go back through history to all the countries that have had civil uprisings and all that, in all of their constitutions, in all of their paperwork, there is always the ability for the people to stand up and take power back.
Yes.
That should never
And
be
our
forgotten.
Constitution is the most powerful document in the world. There is none more powerful. We are the ultimate authority.
I think we should really look at investing, and there's money in this, I know, and God knows none of us have got any bloody money, but
no.
I think the easiest way this can be profit around the community is through an app, and that app can be added to when different letters, streams, different ideas need to be added in. So you really only got to go to one app to get a signature for your documents, Jackie, for your documents, Tim, for Dick's, for everybody else's. That day, Monday is Dick's day, Tuesday is Tim's day, and you sign the documents, you get your witnesses, and you send them off. And it's easily done inside an app, but apps cost money. So,
okay.
But
all right, well,
it's eminently trackable, eminently provable.
Well, thank you, the three of us, all right? We've now got some information out, all right, to you guys to show that we're all in this together, guys. Someone put up there before, we're a great team. We are. That's why we're throwing it out. That's why I wanted to throw out a show like this. This is why we had Cody last night to see what his ideas are, and then these guys tonight who actually have the documents to see what they think of what the ideas were from last night. So now we have a little bit of streamlining to do, guys. Work out how we're going to do it, but we can stay in touch here. We can keep doing these things, one a week or something, and try and work out how we take this forward and how we make a difference. Okay? And simply, guys, as I said, if we do get down and we do get to get some reclaim, we do have a very, very exciting thing that you people know. We can't let you know yet, all right? But I tell you, if we can get some momentum and get some win back and some feedback here, guys, and get ready to actually stand as our own parliament, or whatever we would like to call it, we do have an ace up the sleeve. Okay, we really do, guys. All right. So have a great weekend. Think about it. Thank you again, the three participants tonight. All right. And the reason we're here, guys, and the song we're going to go out with, Carl, you've been on twice and twice. You've got the song, the outro song, but anyway, I think you'll love it. The reason for it tonight, guys, we are here because of this. We have been lied to. We have been lied to for a long time.
We're the power, Dave. We're going to take it back.
We are. They have been manipulating whatever they want to while feeding us a load of bullshit, guys.
Yep.
So good night. Have a great weekend. Put your thinking caps on. We want to hear from you next week, guys. Get to your Forest of the Fallen Monday at Maddie's in Sydney on Monday. It's a public holiday, guys. All right. Bring your picnic basket. Let's get there. Let's get some numbers there. Back these guys up. All right. Good night. Thank you again, people.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. The man with the suits and the tie looks me dead in the eye. and he lies. Yeah, he lies. Then the woman with the makeup and the blouse beams right into my house, and she lies. Yeah, she lies. The man wants me to be scared, the man making me see red, 'cause I know that he lies. Yeah, he lies. Then the woman with the beautiful eyes is no longer beautiful, because I realize that she lies. Yes, she lies. Well, you ain't welcome round here no more. Been down this road too many times before. This the last time you ever cast your spell. You fooled me once, so shame on you. Won't fool me twice, 'cause I see right through the oh so many lies you always tell. From the north to the east, to the west to the south, you cover much ground with your filthy mouth and your lies. Yeah, your lies. You lie so much you believe yourself. The day you tell the truth will be a cold day in hell. I despise all those lies. You ain't welcome round here no more. Been down this road too many times before. This the last time you ever cast your spell. You fooled me once, so shame on you. Won't fool me twice, 'cause I see right through the oh so many lies you always tell. See what you do with your plastic smiles and your auto cues and those lies. Yeah, those lies. How much longer can you hide the truth? When this lion wakes, it's gonna eat you and your lies. Yeah, your lies. You ain't welcome round here no more. Been down this road too many times before. This the last time you ever cast your spell. You fooled me once, so shame on you. Won't fool me twice, 'cause I see right through the so many lies you always tell. With the suit and the tie looks me right dead in the eye, and he lies. Yeah, he lies.